Okay, bonjour grade sevens. We are going to be moving on to another sentence structure in our sports unit. We are going to learn about le futur proche, the future tense, in today's lesson. So, le futur proche is one future tense in French. There are actually multiples. It is created with two verbs, technically making it an example of double verb construction as it does fit the definition. Remember the definition, two verbs in a sentence. First one is conjugated, second one is not. What exactly is a tense? A verb tense describes the time in which an action was, is, or is going to be completed. We use multiple tenses every single day to describe different events. So far in French, we have just worked in the present tense, actions completed in the now. Examples of present tense verbs are j'aime, il joue, tu manges, nous avons, ils sont, etc. I like something now, he plays now, you eat today, we have something now, and they masculine are something now. Really, any verb you've ever conjugated or used in a sentence has been in the present tense. So we're going to be moving on. We are going to add to what we know and start to describe actions that are going to happen in the future. The sentences are going to need three parts to build this: the subject, the conjugated form of aller, and the infinitive of a verb. So as you can see over here in the red, this looks like very familiar to what we've been doing in class so far for many years. J'aime, we just have the two parts of that sentence, the subject, which is the je, and the verb, okay? All we had to do was take off the ER and add our regular ER verb endings. And down here, I want you to think of the present as you are doing something now in the present. We move over to this blue area right here. You're going to see what it looks like in the future. This exact sentence, j'aime, in the future is je vais aimer. So how do we make that? Is the subject, je, the form of aller, vais, and then the infinitive of the verb aimer, to like. So you conjugate aller, you leave the verb in the infinitive. So you are going to do something. So this means right here, if I was to translate it, I am going to like. Clues, when to use each tense in a sentence. Usually there are going to be clues for you that let you know that you're going to be bouncing from present or future. Past is not for you guys this year, so this section is going to be for you guys next year. But we're going to focus on present, the stuff that we've done for many years. You're going to see hints in your sentence like aujourd'hui, which means today, maintenant, right now, en ce moment, in this moment. Things that you're going to see for future that let you know that you're going to be jumping into the future when you're completing these sentences. You're going to see words like demain, tomorrow, la semaine prochaine, next week, plus tard, later, or dans un mois, in a month. You're going to see that there's a time difference of when you're going to complete this action. It's not in the right now, it'll be in the future sometime. So it's a length of time from now. All right, so future proche step number one, we have the verb aller. This should look familiar to you guys. We have je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. This verb is clearly an irregular verb. It does end in an ER, as we see, but it does not have regular ER verb endings. You will get to know this verb by memorization, by using it more and more, or you may use your flip chart when needed. Why aller? Why am I putting aller? Why is it this verb that I'm using? If you remember, this verb means to go. When it's conjugated, the form means either, if I'm translating it, means I go or I am going. So, and for the future, this is a perfect translation because you are going to do something. Future proche, step 2, any infinitive of a verb. A reminder, what is an infinitive? An infinitive is the original form of any verb with the ER, IR, or RE still attached. Here are some examples of infinitives. We have some high frequency ER verbs. High frequency just means that we use them a lot. We have jouer, parler, manger, aimer, adorer, acheter, porter. Then we have some irregular verbs over here, aller, avoir, être, faire. Then we have our IR verbs from this year, rougir, réussir, obéir, remplir, punir, and réfléchir. So really, the future can be made as with the present with any verb. Depending on whatever action that you're doing, there's a verb for it. All right, let's try it out. We're going to change this present tense sentence, I play, and that is understood to be I'm playing today, which is je joue. That should look familiar to everybody. Now, in the red here, I want to change it to I'm going to play in the future. I'm going to play tomorrow. So we're going to chunk our answer. I am going. If I look on my flip chart or if I know it from usage, I know that it is je vais, and I know that the verb to play is jouer. So my final correct answer is je vais jouer. Je vais, I am going. Jouer, to play, I am going to play. In relation to our sports unit, you will follow every other step as you have been, except adding this new verb formation at the beginning. You will still have two verbs. Your first this time will be aller conjugated, and then the words jouer or faire, and then your form of a or de, and then the sport. So over here, we have examples of the types of sentences we've done. Number one, we have je joue au soccer, tu fais de la natation. Number two, we have elle aime jouer au tennis, nous adorons faire de la voile. So over here, we moved it to a little bit more complicated. So the explanation here, both are in the present tense. Number one is a simple introductory sentence. When we first started the sports unit, these are the kind of sentences that we were making. I play soccer, you swim, he hikes, we sail, etc. And number two, we got into a little bit more difficult, is double verb construction, still in the present, and this is showing opinion. She likes to play tennis today. We love to sail today. So number three over here, this is the new form. Il va jouer au football. Elles vont faire de l'haltérophilie. So he is going to play football, and they feminine are going to lift weights. In our new form, you see that the first verb is aller conjugated, so we see the red in both of these. And then the infinitive of jouer and faire. I don't change the word jouer at all, and I don't change the word faire at all. The rest of these sentences, the part in the black, is the regular stuff that you've been doing this entire time. Depends on if you're doing or playing the sport and what the sport starts with on your vocab sheet, if it starts with le, la, or L apostrophe. All right, so this can be used for any verb. So just as we saw those examples for sports, here are just some random sentences that I picked for us to see. So she is going to buy. We're going to always chunk our answer. She is going, elle va. And then to buy is acheter. They feminine are going to eat. Elles vont manger. I'm going to punish. Hopefully none of you. Je vais punir. You are going to be. Tu vas être. We are going to go, and yes, you can have the same verb in two different forms in one sentence. Nous allons aller. Yep, that is a sentence that is proper. He is going to have. Il va avoir. And you plural are going to succeed at this, hopefully. Vous allez réussir. Very easy. You see that the first chunk of all of these is the form of aller. And then the second or third word here, the second verb, is in the infinitive. Whatever you see on a vocab sheet in the future, I'll attach your verb vocab sheet on the work that you'll be doing to practice. It won't just all be about sports when we are talking about le futur proche. So I'll attach your verb vocab sheet. Whatever you see there as the infinitive is what you're going to plug into your sentence. All right, la négation. How do I make these things negative though? When making the future proche negative, you will be putting the ne or n apostrophe and the pas around the form of aller or the first verb. This is exactly what you do for any double verb construction sentence. That's why I said here, or the first verb, because when we've been doing double verb construction with opinions, it always goes around the opinion verb. But for future proche, it's going to go around the aller. They will never go around the infinitive. So here are three examples of future sentences. Je ne vais pas jouer. You see nothing is going around the infinitive, the blue. Nothing is around that. It's always around your aller, the red. Okay, so the green is always going around the red. The green is never going around the blue here, okay? I am not going to play basketball. She is not going to buy this dress. And we are not going to downhill ski. So main points from this lesson, this is a future tense. It means you are going to complete an action in the future. This is a different tense from what you've been doing with me in class. There are two verbs in each sentence, very much like the double verb construction in the last structure that we learned. The first verb will always be the conjugated form of aller. The second verb will be in the infinitive with the er, ir, and re still attached. For sports, the second verb will only be jouer or faire, right? Because you can only do or play sports. The ne and pas will go around the aller part always, never around the infinitive. All the rest of a sentence remains the same and consists of all the same parts as before, the the de, or whatever unit that we would be learning about. And you can find aller in your flip chart on page 16. It is an irregular verb. Do not conjugate like an er verb. So I'm never going to see alle as a form of aller. That's not how it is. So please make sure you're checking on your flip chart on page 16. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. But that is it for Futur Proche, guys. Merci. Bye.